Hi everyone, my name's Emma. I am a fourth year medical student now studying in Sydney, Australia. It's been a long time since I've put anything up on this channel, but this will be my long journey home after 2 years not being able to be home. So, a little bit of a general intro. Like I said, my name's Emma. I am now a final year student studying medicine in Sydney, Australia. And I'm originally from Canada, and due to everything going on in the world for the past 2 years, I haven't been able to be home for Christmas. But this year I finally got the go-ahead to go, and that I'll likely be allowed back in Australia to finish up my final year. So this year took bit of twists and turns. It's a bit more complicated to get home than it usually is, so I thought I'd make a video sort of documenting the process as well as sort of providing the little education that I can for anybody else also trying to leave or enter or travel during this time. So a bit of context, I flew out of Australia on the 21st of December 2021, so obviously any information can and probably has changed by this point, but I hope it kind of helps you out a little bit. Before we jump into the vlog part, I'll kind of talk through what I did in the week leading up to leaving. So about a week before leaving, I got my booster shot so that when I was on the plane and in the crowded airports, I had sort of peak immunity if possible. I packed up lots of masks as well as a face shield, which you'll see. And then about 3 days prior to leaving, 3 days prior to arriving Canadian time, so about 2 days before leaving, I had to upload my vaccine certificates, which if you are an international student in Australia, make sure you use your IHI number and go to Medicare and get out the printed official one that has a QR code, not the green, the one that's on your phone. That's important. So I had that printed out and I uploaded that to my ArriveCan website, as well as including my information on quarantine if I needed to, and waited for my negative PCR test. I booked my PCR to be done at the Histopath Labs in Sydney Airport, which took about 2 hours, and you'll see that happening. Decided to do that day of because it was the one that was guaranteed to come in on time and it was the cheapest. So a few days beforehand, I had all of my paperwork that I could have ready. I had filed it into the United app because I was flying with United. I filed it into the ArriveCan app because you needed to have that completed before you left so that you'd be allowed into Canada. And then the night before, my flight was actually canceled. And then with enough time for me to freak out and try to rebook everything and start full-blown panicking, I got an email saying it was rebooked for me. So it was really great. I think the airlines were just trying to put as many people as they can on one flight, which made the flights pretty crowded, which wasn't ideal given the circumstances, but I still was able to get on a plane, and that's where you'll pick up now.
Good morning and welcome to the first hour of it's 25 hours of travel that starts not until 2 p.m. and it's like 7:30 now, so you do the math. So for this morning, we had some toast, last piece of toast. It was the last scoop of jam. This is the last coffee pod, so I obviously have to go home today. We'll be leaving in about an hour to get to the airport, so I have enough time to take my test and check in and everything like that. So all I have to do is really pack up my tech, and then off I go. COVID test done. Now we wait about an hour and a half. So I'm probably just gonna try to find a quiet corner to like sit down. So it's been 90 minutes, but they have a lot of extra people today. I guess there's been a lot of changes from 72 hours to 24 hours for the test. So they said probably wait another 30 minutes, 40 minutes, which is fine because I'm still very early for my flight. I still can't even like check in, I don't think, for another like 15, but proof that you should show up early, I guess. There's the departure sign.
So this is pretty much the plan. Put the N95 on a sterilized pad, or wipe, and then you eat with the mask on. So in general, the long flight was pretty good. I think it's 14 hours going from Sydney to San Francisco. I lucked out. I didn't have anybody directly beside me and just someone on the aisle, and he was actually really nice. He's sort of a dad-age gentleman, and because due to everything that's happening, United isn't providing allergy-friendly meals, so I wasn't actually able to eat the main meal. I had to pack my own food and kind of scavenge bits from the trays, like the salad and stuff, and he was quite concerned for me, so he gave me his salad. And they came out with these snack packs which had crackers, meat, and cheese all individually packaged, so I was able to eat the meat and cheese, and he gave me his snack pack as well. He was really, really nice, and it went by pretty well. The problem was it was sort of the daytime that it would have been in Australia, so I wasn't really tired, so I didn't sleep really at all on that flight. When we landed in San Francisco, we had to get our bags and recheck them, which is a little bit interesting. We basically just handed them to someone to put them on now the US flights, and then we had to go back through security again. Just kidding, there's a security check-in. I have a half hour to get through that. Frick. Now, I had about an hour from the landing, or maybe just over, from wheels down to wheels up, to get all of this done, which was really stressful. I did manage to get through security on time. For no help through security, they seem to be taking their sweet time, but that's all right. I rushed to my gate and I was able to get on, boarded with my group, and that was all fine. And then it was from San Francisco to Chicago, and that flight was also pretty easy, pretty chill. There was a 2-year-old in front of me that I kind of made best friends with, being very friendly and not too loud, which was nice. And then when we landed in Chicago, I had a half hour to get from my gate that I landed in to my final gate, which would take me to Toronto, and that was in 2 different terminals. And if you've ever flown through Chicago O'Hare, you know it's pretty big, and there's some of the terminals are literally on the other side of a bridge from another, and it was absolutely packed. It was kind of gross how packed it was considering everything that's happening, so I was quite stressed, but I did hurry my little booty from one to the other, and I got there. I was able to sit down for like 30 seconds. I think I was able to go to the bathroom beforehand, and then we started boarding onto the Chicago to Toronto flight. And that flight was surprisingly short. I think it was just about an hour. I don't know if we had winds in our favor or something, but I basically dozed because at this point I had barely slept and barely eaten the entire, we're going on 30 plus hours. So I kind of dozed in and out the whole way home. Was able to see, when we were flying over, we saw some snow on the ground, and then when we were flying over, we got to see the lights of Toronto. I actually could see the CN Tower, but it hid behind some clouds before I could actually get a shot of it on camera. And then we got to land, and the flight attendant was really sweet. She said, you know, thanks for flying with us, yada, yada, yada. Anybody going on to the next destination, safe travels, and this is home for you, welcome home. And that was probably the 20th time I almost cried on the way home. When we landed in Canada, it was pretty standard. You're kind of funneled into different lines, you know, through security, and that's just for ease and traffic control. It didn't feel like it was any sort of extra measures. You checked in. If you had done your ArriveCAN properly, that just got uploaded onto your declaration receipt. You give that to someone. They ask me like 2 questions, and then they randomly allocate you a color that they give you a little sticker, which is for a COVID test or not. I wasn't allocated a COVID test, so then I was just kind of shuttled. They are trying to, I think, spread people out as they're exiting, so I was kind of shuttled out one exit, and then I arrived. And what I didn't know was that guests and people picking you up weren't actually allowed in the airport, so then I had to go on a journey to find my parents, which wasn't that hard. They were just in the parking lot. So my parents couldn't get in, so I have to go find them. There's no like... Hi, puppies! Oh, you're not a puppy. Hi. Hi! Ah! Oh, God, please. Hi! Hello! 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 Everybody's terrible.
It was like, is there going to be a left to wear? So I rolled down the window. I said,
And now I am home. I've spent the past 2 days pretty much just sleeping. I don't think it's jet lag. I think it is actually just recovering from 35 hours of no sleep and no food and a really stressful year and just general decompressing that you're finally able to be home. I've been pretty much self-isolating until Christmas because I'm going to do a rapid test before then. Since I wasn't allocated a test in the airport at this point, I wasn't asked to isolate. I just think it's better for me and for the safety of my loved ones that I kind of stay a little bit in my own little cave, and I will do a rapid before seeing my grandparents because no grandma's getting the spicy flu because of me. But yeah, that was the journey home. It was a long time coming, and honestly the arrival lacked a bit of fanfare because I thought they'd be a lot more stressed at the airport. It seems like the airports currently are quite open and they're quite willing to have people come through as long as you get all your documents in order. So yeah. Make sure to give this video a like if you just like heartfelt reunion stories. Comment down below your plans for Christmas, and obviously subscribe for future videos. I do make more videos about my journey to and my journey through medicine, including vlogs of my placements and things like that. I have more coming. I took a lot of videos during third year. I just haven't been able to edit them, so that's my plan over the Christmas break. But yeah, that's me, and I will see you in the next one.